expressive. So when I just wake up and have an idea and I create something out of that idea, it's God showing off. So that's what it is for me.
I've always been a little bit shy, but when it comes to fashion, I will wear anything and I will wear it with confidence. And so for me, that is a way of expressing myself, you know? And I feel it also is the same thing for a lot of women.
African for me means community. It means living together. If you look at Africans, they're all talking about the different countries in Africa. You know, it's all about our community. So for me, Africa means community. It means living together.
All right, you're welcome to the most undiluted show on this part of the globe. No Cap is a show for the free-minded, the radical-minded, and those who always have one question behind their mind. And that question is why. If you're one of those people who gets upset or angry when somebody says something to you, like, look, this is not the show for you, because we say it as it is. We do not cover, we do not edit it, we do not filter it. It's No Cap. Like, take the cap off and just speak. My name is Miles, the eighth wonder of the world, and I'm flanked by two beautiful women. They say, blessed is he amongst women, and when that Bible verse was actually for me, right? Oh, now to my immediate left, I have the beautiful, always smiling, by the way. We'll get to you in a bit. Why you're always smiling? Frown small. Just frown small. I have the beautiful Booms in the okay, Booms, sorry, yeah. Oh yeah, Booms in the building. Booms, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
And to my far left, I have the always dashing hips to the side. She said hips to the side. We don't edit here. Have you forgotten?
Okay.
All right. I have Rosange in the building.
Rosange.
I like Rosange. Rosange, how you doing?
I'm fine.
You are fine, by the way. Bride price is an important aspect of marriage traditions in Nigeria, but how relevant is it in the light of today's world? Although Nigeria's diversity has created room for different types of marriages, but one thing that has remained constant is the payment of bride price. It has become an essential part of valid customary marriage in the country. Now, bride price is usually the payment in a monetary form to the parents or the guidance of the female partner made by the groom on account of marriage. Now, initially, this issue of dowry and bride price was more like a pleasantry exchange between husband-to-be and the future in-laws when it all started. In most cultures, though, it was little things that were just like little things. But this day, people now see it as, especially the men, they now see that, oh, they have bought over the woman. Like, it's you now belong to me. Like, I have paid your bride price. So now, anything I tell you to do, you have to do it. Now, that's where we are today now. Before we get back into the studio and we talk about it and argue, because I know you people are already frowning and ready to explode.
Yes.
We went into the streets of Lagos. We talked to one or two people, and a lot of people were furious. People were angry. Some people loved it. Some people were excited about it. And they had this to say about bride price. Is it nonsense or is it sense? Let's see this right back.
It's not nonsense to our culture. Understand? We have to pay.
There are norms and beliefs now. You have to pay the bride price.
You have to pay the bride price.
Yes, because it's part of our norms and beliefs.
My sense, so I won't call it my bride price now.
So that means you are for sale.
No, that's not what it means.
What does it mean?
It's just a token. I mean, it's just a token. So why are you paying for your wife? Are you trying to buy her or something? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I don't think you have to pay to get a woman. Like, that's not right. I just think.
Why do they have to pay to like get me? I don't know. You can gift my family every other day, but you can't buy me. Nah. So I don't buy the idea of buy bride price.
Absolutely nonsense. Absolutely.
Why do you think so?
You know, I mean, I feel like if I don't know why we pay. Why do you guys have to pay? Like, why? Come on, why can't girls pay? We worth it. Yeah, we worth it. Like, we want that payment. So why should it be only the girls?
Basically, it's kind of ridiculous, the cost, you know. Like, it's something that is pretty small. So, but I think it's traditional. And I mean, based on your culture, you should just adhere to that.
It's sense now. I don't know, sense or no sense, me, I don't know. But my own mom, she's waiting for it because I'm the only girl. So, yes, now, sense or no sense, that is not my business. I don't have anything to do with that because my mom is patiently waiting as the only daughter. So, she don't write list, everything. So.
All right, you're most welcome back. Now, did you see that? It's still No Cap. If you're just joining us for the first, time, we're like, what are these people doing? Yeah, it's called No Cap, where we say things undiluted. We say things the way it is. They say things, and yeah, we take off the cap. We don't lie about it, right? There's no point to risk it about it. What are you people? Anyway, so yeah, that was the street of Lagos, and you heard what people had to say. A lot of people had diverse opinions about this. Now, let me start with you people in this. You ladies now. Bride price, sense or nonsense? I think Bumi wants to go first. Booms wants to go first, but
I mean, I feel it's utter rubbish.
What's utter rubbish?
Bride price.
Okay.
I feel it's literally nonsense. I mean, in the past, it used to make a lot of sense. But now it really doesn't make sense again. I feel like people use it as an avenue to get out of poverty now. Yes, to be very honest.
Auntie, calm down.
I should.
But yeah, no.
Okay.
Go on.
But honestly, like, I see lists now and I'm wondering what is going on exactly. What are you guys trying to do? Are you trying to ruin a relationship, a life that is about to start? Because by the time you see what they're asking the man's family to bring, it's enough to start the family they are trying to. Do you get, like,
open a store?
It's really like nonsense. And the one that upsets me the most is the people that even take it. I mean, an uncle from that I haven't seen in 15 years, or an auntie that
you've never even met before.
Do you get? And they are claiming right on, we sent you to school. What? I mean, I saw when my parents were struggling to send me to school. Right. So where are you coming from to take? So I feel like it's ridiculous. The money that we spend on these things that other people are going to share, why don't you just give it to the new family to start? I mean, at the end of the day, by the time they share, it's little that comes to the bride and the husband. Except for some very few people now that the money, the father hands it over to his wife and then the wife does whatever thing she wants to it. But I just feel like it's utter nonsense.
Okay, Zanj, bride price.
Nonsense. Like today, she said it all, yeah. So it's complete nonsense because, I mean, like, back in the days, I would have agreed to it. Yeah, a few tubers of yam, oil, and these 5, 10, 15 naira.
Do you get?
But right now, you're literally trying to open the store, you know, I barely started life. I mean, like, we're just trying to, like, put things together and all of a sudden, you're giving me 4 Fusca paper. Not me. You're giving the man to be. I mean, how do you expect him to survive? How do you expect him? What are you looking for, really? And then you now see, like, a boss with, like, 15 relatives that you've never met in your life. They're all sitting down waiting to consume you. No.
Miles is looking like he's interested in paying bride price.
Okay, we'll get to me. Let me throw it to both of you like this, since you're both on the same side now. Now, what happens, right, if the person you've been in a relationship with for a while and you guys are, okay, let's just move to the next level, and your parents just, boom, they bring out the whole bride price thing, like, oh, this is how much it is, this what, blah, 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 and it's a little bit too much for him, and the guy just feels like backing out. How are you guys going to handle that?
I'll speak to my parents.
What if they don't agree? Like, what's your native name again?
Nwamaka.
Don't
do that. Don't do that. That's wrong.
I will tell you this. Your forefathers before you cannot. This is
my
and they
father.
go all that on you.
I hope you're watching this. He won't do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, because we'll come to an agreeable terms, like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on, this is what is on ground now, regardless, and this is my partner, this is my life partner, this is how I feel would run. So regardless of whatever it is, I mean, you should cut it down. But maybe to the public, we could make it look like, oh, it was
That
extra.
was the list.
This was the list. But I mean, in-house, because we're family, and then family, we cover ourselves up. We're meant to keep ourselves, you know. So
Do you know how many parents and uncles and aunties are watching this right now, and they're going to like, are these actually our children?
You know, I was going to actually say something as regards that, because this bride price thing, it usually doesn't just come from the angle of the parents alone. The uncles and auntie also have
external
a say in it.
family members.
Yeah, so if you say you're going to talk to your parents about it, honestly, trust me, they're not going to listen because they have other voices speaking to them. So for me, I'll pull a radical on them.
no, if your parents are vocal enough and they're pretty well grounded, and then they don't allow third parties come into their business, I don't think that even if the rest of the family members will make suggestions and opinions, it really is still what they want for their children that would still be, because the world has evolved right now, and this time,
it just depends on
they're more
families, but
exposed.
I feel like most families have the voices of uncles and aunties, grandparents from somewhere,
And then
speaking as regards
they
their
trap
parents'
them
marriage.
based on tradition.
Yes,
This is
exactly. This is
tradition.
how we have been doing it from way
You
back.
have to.
So if anybody pulls that on me, dude, I'm going to get married to my man. When you
Travel.
guys are ready for
Jackpot.
bride price, like normal bride
Yes.
price, you call our number.
Okay.
Yes.
That being said, I'm gonna give my 2 cents about this, right? Okay,
Yes.
cool. So bride price has been there before we were born.
Yeah.
Where when we're still in liquid form, wherever it is we were, whatever, if we're in the right sack or the left sack, whatever sack we share, when we're still in liquid form, bride price has always been there, right? So our mothers were paid bride price for them. So what is this new we are woke situation? And people say, oh no, bride price is not a thing. Look, it's just what it is now. The price of let's say your timepiece that you're putting on right now, it's not the same price it was 10 years ago. Right? Now,
Yes.
if it seems like, oh, these guys are inflating things, like, look, a tuber of yam now, it's like a normal size tuber of yam is like 3,500.
More reason why they should reduce the amount of things on the list.
I disagree with you. Now, in some math, and they are trying to pity you people, instead of you people carrying load and bringing load of just they're calculated and put it into monetary form for you. Like, okay, cool. Why don't you just pay XYZ money? So I don't think bride price is nonsense. I just think it's just what it is. I don't. Okay, well, I have a daughter.
How many?
Now,
how
when
many
I am
sisters do you
wait,
have?
now I don't have. What's your problem?
You want to collect
Like, honestly, I want to see
Like
where
when
this
when
goes.
it's time to give my daughter out in marriage,
Yeah.
like I am definitely going to list it out. This is tradition. This is where we come from. We shouldn't
15 million loading.
we shouldn't lose who we are as Africans.
For real?
Because the white man is saying, oh, blah. Look, if you want to marry as a man, yeah. If you're about to if you're about to go into a marriage as a man, you should be ready to chest it. It's not for children. It's not a place of management. When we get to one place, so if they're billing you 40 or 40,000,
But do you also know
get ready.
that this is what has sold some women into slavery? Because some men just feel like, I can't pay this much as bride price, and then you will not come down and serve me. Like, some women go into marriage and they become automatic slaves because of what their parents collected for bride price. The man will just
They
calculate
don't have
2
a
times
say
2,
in that
like,
in that relationship.
Wait, are you saying oh, bride price now is what is not making them have a say? Is it the girl that collected the money?
Well, I mean,
they feel like it's your family. You are a part of your family.
Like, I already bought you. I paid excess
I
for
paid.
you. So
If
anything
some
I
people
want,
now
you
is
should
like,
do it.
I bought you. I bought
I
your
own
entirety.
you.
You know, some parents
So
even go
you're
as far
literally
as
a
saying that.
glorified house help.
Exactly. Some parents
Why
go
you guys-
as far as saying that, oh, they paid tuition fee, so you have to pay for. So it's like he was paying for
I paid for your
your
school fees.
school fees, your clothes, and all. So that's what the husband
No,
is
no,
paying
no,
for.
no.
So he's
No,
like
no,
he paid for what he wasn't there for.
Yes.
And so he's buying you.
So now he's
no,
taking
no.
responsibility.
Exactly.
I disagree. Your parents are responsible to give you a proper education to a particular level, right? And they are not supposed to be waiting on the fence like, okay, I need to get my payback. Now you're getting your payback when your child starts working and your child wants to bless you, like, oh, daddy, I got your car, mommy, I got you your house, blah blah blah. That's different. That's from your child, not like how will I now milk this guy? Bride price is not about milking anybody.
Okay, so
It's
in
just
all
about-
honesty,
So it varies
what was
because
the-
it depends on the tradition, depends on the where you come from, literally, because it's not the same. Every tribe has different ways.
Okay, so
and
which
that's what I
just
mean.
brings me to what was the idea behind bride price
from the get
from the get go?
Yeah.
Okay, now like I read earlier, it's it was just a pleasantry exchange of, oh, you're coming to meet. It was like what we do in introductions. Oh, we are coming to your house. So this is what we have.
Exactly. Why doesn't it just end here? I bring something to welcome your family, and you bring something
the woman
to
also
end my
brings
family.
something to welcome the man's family.
That's for introduction. But for the traditional marriage, there's like a prize on the bride. That's what they call it. They don't call it groom prize. A prize on the bride. Like, I am buying this woman. I am buying this woman to become my wife. I don't feel comfortable with that.
But in other tribes, you know, they put maybe 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira. I mean, like, that's all you usually pay.
Do you see that now?
No, they still do it. Depend. I think some Delta State, some other like.
Where are you from?
I'm from Delta State.
Okay, from Delta State. Like, what's the bride price range in your side?
I don't know.
So, but do you have sisters who's got married?
Yes.
Have you heard? Did you see what was brought? Or
no, I know. I don't have sisters. I have cousins. They're Benin. I mean, it's quite different, you know, because it's still the same thing, but it wasn't as much as that. But you see, Imo.
This guy, Imo and Abia people are coming for you. You keep saying it. Is it that bad?
No, because I had my friends. Like, I'm sorry, guys, but they were crying. Even for us, like, they were literally crying. Like, how do we do this?
You know, I have an uncle that got married from Edo State, and according to the information, he has to buy a luggage box of clothes for his mother-in-law and for his wife,
yams,
like fully loaded box.
So what's wrong with that? That's tradition.
What is the
Before
idea
you realize you're only
behind
spending like 10 million naira just buying things.
What is the idea behind this tradition? Like, why am I not giving my husband something? Why is it only the...
Which brings me to that. God will bless you.
Okay.
Now, why are we not, we the male folk, why are we not being paid for too? Why is nobody giving us groom price? Like,
do you understand my point now?
That's
why it feels like they're buying the
women are marrying men now in other part of the world. So what is your groom price?
Anything.
I mean, in India, you could go get married from India. The women pay.
They pay for bread. Oh, really?
Yeah.
India, here I come.
And that's why, if you notice, the women in India have more say over their husbands.
Actually.
Oh.
Because that's what the idea is. It's literally like you're buying the person.
So that's what you're saying now.
Yes.
Do you believe that bride price seems like you're buying the person over? Like,
oh no, it just shows that, for me, I feel like it just shows that you're capable and that you are responsible and that you'll be able to literally take care of me or for my father, you'll be able to take care of my child. That's what it just shows, that okay, so for the fact that you can provide it just shows that you are man enough to do more, not because that you're buying me off or
I mean, so if that's the case,
why not? That's what it's supposed to be.
Why not ask the guy to set up his house and you guys to come and look at it? How are you going to take care of
the
my
house
daughter?
is already set up.
What if the guy went to rent the house and you don't know?
At least the rent is still covered for 1 year. Do you get my point? Some people, the money that they're living in 1-room apartment, and the money they spent on bride price is enough to collect a 2-bedroom apartment, set it up well, buy food stuff, like make the woman very much okay for a year, and then I give it to who? One uncle and auntie that will not see again.
And then they're struggling for the first year of their marriage.
Do you understand? They can't even go for a proper honeymoon
because they borrowed money to make sure things happen. A lot of marriages are like that. Like after marriage, like what next? We're looking at ourselves like nothing to do. We're struggling.
So let him set up the house. You guys come and look at it. Oh, okay, this is what my child is going to eat, and it's okay. You are capable. You are good to go. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Not feeding some people, some ancestors somewhere.
Okay, so let me finish it up on this note with both of you. Again, I'm going to ask. The guy now says, "Oh, he comes to your household and it's like, this I can't do this," and says, "I can't afford this. I have to go." How will you take that? I can't afford this.
No, baby, you're not going nowhere. We'll get to the bottom of this. How? Let's travel. I mean, there are other ways we can do.
There's no access to it. You keep saying Jakba because there's access to it. Imagine there's no access to Jakba at that moment.
Let's go to the forest.
I mean, we go radical. No, to be very honest, we go radical. I tell them this is what I can do. If you're not ready to accept it, I will marry this man because I want him to be able to fend for me and not for some people somewhere.
Because the only reason why I have chosen to marry this person is because he's my friend, and then I see that we would actually build stuff together.
And I understand the fact that he can even fend for me.
He understands me.
See, what is paining me is the aspect that we are feeling some God somewhere, some ancestors somewhere. Like what? Why? I mean, I would definitely go radical on them. When you guys are ready to take what we have, you just contact us because I mean someone that I've been trying to
cheers to this. Cheers to this. We go radical.
Someone I've been trying to like build things with. We have been trying to achieve some things. We have a plan for when we get married. We will not squander the money on bride price. Because we don't do that. No, we will not do that.
Can you make a cash for squander?
For squander on better things. For squander on house and cars. Because I'll pay bride price finish. I'm using my leg to walk out on the road for what? All that money put it together.
Now you work out.
We go to honeymoon. I want to go to Paris.
Do you understand?
Italy,
like.
Okay, ignore what I said earlier, but do not ignore it at the same time. Okay. I'm just trying to sit on the fence. But really, bride price is part of our culture. We like it or not. It's not going nowhere. But I just feel right now that the parents now are taking it to the next level. They are overstretching it. When you see some ridiculous amounts, you're like, how is this person that's just about to start his life?
Exposed parents don't do that.
Go all the way. How do you expect them to get all this done?
They gave me bride price list. I mean, 2 years ago or about 3 years ago. And immediately I sat down, I dissected it. I said, this is irrelevant. This is... My big mom was looking at me and was like, David, this is how they've been doing. I said, when it comes to my point, and you guys are joking. When it comes to my point, this is irrelevant. This money, I can use it to do so many other things. This is what I can use it. They say, okay, they will reprint. I say, I know you people want to do me behind, but I will do you people behind. We will do each other behind because if you bring this thing and go and give my husband, he will tell me. It's going to tell me. Am I married? No, I think it's the bride price.
It's the bride price that chased the guy.
But they pursued you, not pursued the man.
They pursued me safe because I'm like, really, guys.
You see, that's the reason why most. Where are you from?
I'm a Yoruba girl.
Okay, I'll let you say, but most Igbo ladies, they don't marry.
Imo and who again?
No, let's not do Igbo. Okay. I'm not being tribalistic, but I mean, like, because of this, a lot of people are still there.
Single,
I mean, it feels like you are planning for your bride price more than you're planning for your future.
Yes.
This actually, like I said earlier when I started the show, it actually happens to my friend, and this is not me just trying to create a story. It happens to one of my best friends. When he watches it, he just shake his head like, this guy had to do this, Like that's did you see that meme where they said?
I saw the meme when my friend was on radio station when he said mention.
I mean, I do that a lot.
This actually, I'm sure he'd be like, God, my house has to take my story out there. Like, it actually hurt him. He was ready. They had done the introduction, right? They've done the, I think, engagement or something. The guy was ready. He had packed everything he had. He moved down to Lagos from Abuja, got a new place, and he saw the bride price. He wanted to kill him. And this is the girl that he loved so much. Now, girl on her own now goes, don't worry, maybe we should just keep saving. We'll get there. Blah, blah. She didn't fight for him. So it really broke him.
You know the annoying part? The guy probably had established the girl in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Do you get? And I'm like, shouldn't that be enough already? Like, these people have established to a certain level. All they needed to do was get married and get it going. And then you guys are trying to frustrate that effort. It's really upsetting.
But why are you thinking all of that? Where did you go just you just look lost, like you're thinking about it, like, oh my goodness.
I'm just imagining, I'm projecting myself,
what you're going to do,
like what I would do.
I mean, I've thought about it. Like, the moment I saw that list, I thought about it.
Talking about what you guys would do now, moving forward now, right? Since this is the generation of the younger, we are the younger generation now. They are still listening to us gradually. Our voices are heard globally now. We have the internet and everything. Now, let's start with you. Moving forward, you get to that point where you want to get married. Let's start with when you get married. Then, when you start having your own children and you're trying to give them away, what is the way forward for you?
Okay, so the way forward for me is do things.
And if this comes into play, somehow, I'm not saying you're going to marry a mechanic, which there's nothing wrong with a mechanic actually, but if it comes into play.
Okay, so I think before we even get to that point, right, I would have a chat with my own folks. Like, okay, so it's almost that time, and that time is right, like almost now. So you guys have to get your thinking faculty straight.
Wait, so you are doing like this for your parents?
No. I mean, no disrespect.
Was that just like that?
If my mother was here now,
you just have to say
it.
Sorry, I cut you short.
Okay, so but yeah, I mean, like, we need to get our priorities straight, because consider me, consider my future. Right. I mean, like, I know they want the best for me, so they would not even try to act funny, So yeah, they will come into terms like, okay, so I think this is what we should do. But yeah, tradition will still be played out, regardless. But don't come and build house on top of No, it won't work.
All right,
You know,
cool.
and then
cool.
for my kids too, I would do the same. So
Yeah.
Like, will you even take any money out? Or will you just say, you
no,
love him, you love
I
her,
would do the
just
normal
go?
tradition, but you know the whole 1 naira, 2 naira, all the naira denomination or your currency, everything, all those normal.
All right,
Yeah.
Booms. What about you?
Okay, so for me, let me start with my parents. It's already in play. This is what I want and this is what I don't want. This is how things should get and this is how things shouldn't get. So I think we're almost on the same page now. And for my children, I'll just stick to this tradition of money. Hand the money, the bride price to the father hands it over to the child, and she used the money to build her family. I think that's very much okay.
Understanding.
Yes.
All right, cool. That being said, no cap. We came, we saw, we conquered, we spoke it the way it is. They think bride price is nonsense. I think bride price is not nonsense, but don't hike it too much. And you heard from the people from the streets also, they had diverse opinions about it. But you can reach us on all our social media platforms and let us know what you think. If you think bride price is nonsense, please let us know. If you think it's nonsense, please let me know. If you have a fine girl in your house, I will visit. And if you think it makes sense, yeah, you'll be fine. Don't let me know. Don't reach out to me. You know what I mean? Thank you so very much, Booms. How can we reach on your social media platforms?
You can follow me at mo_Toraya13
All right.
on Instagram alone.
Okay. What about?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Rosange_. It is spelled as ROS4NGE_.
Yeah, all right, cool. Follow her. Don't follow me. I do not have indie money. I'm just saying. All right, we came with Solid Concord. We have to go. When we come back next time, it's still going to be the blast. Still no cap. My name is Miles, the 8th one of the world. Adios.
From the star-studded guest lists to the distinctive ashwabis to even the hashtag trends on social media, Nigerian celebrities sure do know how to make a wedding the talk of the town. It's the month of May, the start of the second quarter of the year, but April was a month filled with delightful, attention-catching weddings. Let's have a look at the weddings that caught the attention of Nigerians in the month of April. It's almost safe to say that Rita Dominic's wedding ceremony was the most attended celebrity wedding since Banky W and Adesuwa Etomi's carnival-like wedding in 2017. Rita and her husband Fidelis Anosike said their I do's on the 19th of April 2022 with a long list of Nollywood icons and A-list celebrities in attendance. Owerri, the host city of the wedding, witnessed an influx of visitors as celebrities turned up in their numbers, all glammed up for one of the industry's finest. Guests in attendance included the likes of Nollywood veteran Joke Silva, Chidi Mokeme, Ini Edo, Hilda Dokubo, Uche Jombo, celebrity designer and stylist Swanky Jerry, Uti Nwachukwu, Big Brother Nigeria's past housemates, Ese Iriata, Lucy Edet, and Mercy Eke, amongst many others. Social media was buzzing with the hashtag RealDeal22, which trended on several social media platforms. In a sweet succession of Rita Dominic's viral traditional wedding party, multi-award-winning filmmaker and director of blockbuster films like King of Boys and The Wedding Party, Kemi Adetiba, and her Ghanaian heartthrob, Oscar Himan Aka, tied the North traditionally on the 23rd of April 2022 in a colorful movie-like scene with the hashtag Undeniably Yours 2022 trending all over social media that day. The wedding had a theme flamboyantly African, which Nigerians and Ghanaians stunningly embraced as they showed in their flamboyant African outfits. Kemi's traditional wedding outfit showed her Ekiti, Efik, and her husband's Ghanaian heritage. Her first outfit was a graceful green lace gown that made many stare. She then wore a second outfit, which was a royal Efik regalia, an indication of her maternal roots in Akwa Ibom. Then came her last outfit, which was a mini kente attire with beadings all over, which matched perfectly with her husband's Ghanaian outfit. Simply stunning. The guests in attendance featured multiple celebrities with the likes of Shola Shobowale, Toke Makinwa, Ebuka Obi Uchendu, Zainab Balogun, Toyin Abraham, Sean Fakwa, Uti Nwachukwu, Aka Nnani, Tools, Banky W and his wife Adesuwa Etomi, Ini Dimma Okoje, Big Brother Nigeria past housemates Alex and Pere, amongst many, many others. We wish the newlyweds a happy and a blissful married life.
My name is Olamide Onifade. I am a real estate lawyer, and today I'm going to be giving you a tip about buying a property, and it's going to be centered on location, location, location. Buying a property is a massive commitment, and it's important that you consider some key factors to ensure you are getting your money's worth. Fundamental on your checklist should be the location of your property. It is the biggest influence on your quality of life, job opportunities, ease of travel, and the value of your property. While a good location might be influenced by your personal preferences and lifestyle, there are some objective qualities every good location should possess. First on the list should be accessibility when considering a good location. That is, how close is the property to good transport facilities, your daily commute to work, and your children's school if you have children who are of school age. Second on the list is the availability of local amenities. This includes a good local hospital, shops, grocery stores, electricity, and maybe internet services. And third should be the appearance of your neighborhood. You should watch out for the environmental conditions of the neighborhood. Sanitation and maintenance culture of the inhabitants is also very important. This will give you an insight to who your neighbors are going to be. It is important that the crime rate of the neighborhood is also thoroughly researched. Qualities of a bad location can be when there are too many houses on sale, closeness to busy highways, airports, and train tracks. It is also advisable that you avoid locations that lean towards industrial use, such as petrol stations, religious houses, and industrial plants. Remember that you can change your house, but you can't change your neighborhood.
Traditions, customs, these are the beliefs that have been passed down to us from generations. They're part of our culture. They give us a sense of identity. But some of them are harmful practices, especially to women. Today with my sisters, we're going to be discussing all about this. We have Chisom in the house, Fumi, Adeswa, Anne, and myself, Saudat. Please join us in a few minutes when we come back from the break. Welcome to TW Conversations.
So, welcome back. It's about traditions today. There are good ones and there are not so good ones. So with my sisters in the room today, we'll be talking about traditions that we need to probably shy away from or look for us to correct how they are actually applied or do away with totally. So I'll start with Adeswa.
Is it because I'm closest to you?
Because you are Edo. Because it's
tradition is important to us. You're right. You're right.
So tell me, what do you think about tradition? What areas of the tradition can be better managed or applied or to be done away with?
You know what? I'd like to start first of all because I listened to Saudat's intro and it just put something in my head. I want to talk about how do traditions happen. Because you see, when you said Edo, Oba Atokpei, and we say Ise, there's a thing of pride.
What does it mean?
That's may the long live the king, and we say Amen. Yes. That's what it is. Ise.
Like they do in England?
God save the queen. So it says, long live the king. You know, in my place, there's no question about the fact that if an Oba dies, it's his first son that takes the title. In Edo land, if a man dies, you don't have to worry about going to court. It is the first son. That's why you find that, they say in my land, women don't stay in husband's house. Just go born firstborn here. That's one of the bad sides of it. Yes. Born firstborn boy here. Born firstborn boy here. So that
they take every...
So that, because there's no question. Anyway, but I mean, so really and truly, traditions, how do they start? It's from time. Why do we have this tradition? We're one of the oldest kingdoms. I proudly say the oldest kingdom south of Sahara. You know what I mean? It's age. With time, traditions build. She says ways people do things, they become a culture. They become a way of life. Yeah. So why don't we look, first of all, at some of the ones that can be negative? Off the top of your head, you are only 21.
In Edo, since you have told us about Long Live the King,
yes.
What do you think could be negative in that?
No, that's
because
one...
I spent my youth corps in Edo, by the way, and far back then, when the king died, you better stay in your house. There were very negative issues about people missing.
For example, this is true, in the past. No, the truth is, in the past, when Noba died, they would bury him with somebody now. Yes, they would bury him with somebody. That was what it was. But with time.
But even in Ife Kingdom as well.
Ife is from
which
Benin
means
now.
that changed, which means that we can actually change some of the traditions.
Yes.
So now that we look at, there are some things we don't like that we're talking about today, it means one of the things we thought, can we change it? If it's bad for us, we'll change it.
Tell me some of the traditions that you think exist today that really should be.
would rather it changed.
Like in the Igbo culture, if your husband dies, you have to...
Widowhood practices.
Yes, widowhood practices. You have to bait with... I don't think they do that now, but I know they used to. And I'm still sure that some place...
You've not said what they do.
They would have to drink the water...
Or that they used to wash the body.
Yes, that they used to wash the body of...
Why is that so? Why
because I think it's an affirmation to... know that you didn't kill your husband. Yes, your husband. And to me, it doesn't make any sense.
If the wife dies, do they make the husband drink the water?
No.
Okay, so this is just for the husband,
yes.
for when the man dies.
Why don't we put this in perspective?
In fact, when you're talking about Igbo culture, today on the radio as I was coming here, I heard when they were talking about this Osu practice, and the Igbo people have decided in Anambra State, this December that they're going to... So
abolish.
They've said, yes, they said they're going to abolish it. Now, even some people have had concerns that even when they say it's abolished, there are people that still have stereotypes and still say...
No, but you have to understand what an Osu is. An Osu is an outcast. Just like what you're talking about in Edo land, where, for example, when the king died, they would bury him with some live people. They were usually the slaves that were used for such things. And that's how it happened. And it's slaves that became...
notion.
Widowhood practices.
Widowhood practices. The bath water, because also I'm multicultural here. I'm multi-traditional. I grew up in the East quite a lot. The bath water, was it to prove that the woman didn't kill her husband, or it was just what was expected of a befitting wife of a dead man?
No,
because
from what you hear, I mean,
because because the notion we have to be careful that people don't.
Yeah, from what I hear, I think it's an affirmation. It's to clarify that the woman is innocent. Yes, doesn't have, especially when the man dies young, or they have like some issues in their family.
Can I share a personal example? Because I lost a brother. He was only 49 when he died, and he had a widow. Now, in my place, they say you should swear. That's in the Doland. You must swear that you didn't have a hand in what happened. And I remember telling my sisters, my sister-in-law then, she was afraid. I said, listen, let's go, because traditional things will happen. He was 49, people felt what could have killed him. All they want to do is to be sure that, and they said that you had to kill a goat. I said, you know what, don't worry. For as long as I am there, you will not do anything. And I ensured that she didn't do anything. However, they made her, because all they do, they have a council, they made her stand, and she said, okay, it's an affirmation. That, okay, is this your husband? Yes, he is. Do you have any hand in his death? No. Do you have children? Yes. How many children? 1 or 2 years. It's agonizing. Somebody is mourning and you're doing that. Yes, but you see, sometimes, because we had a little of a disagreement, I told my sister-in-law, just do it, because we don't want trouble. It doesn't take anything out of you.
To the men?
If it does, of course. I've never seen a man die. I'm talking about my example. I don't know what happens when a man dies.
Number one,
when a woman
it shows that Adesua believed to a certain extent that we needed to respect what tradition wanted of us, but for us to manage it and not, open ourselves to very negative issues. I'd like you to expatiate on this issue of, is it always, anything that's done to the women, is it done to the men in the same situation?
Take FGM.
Yes.
Yes, because
female genital
if you look at a lot of the traditional practice that we're talking about, they're always against the woman. If ever we are going to suppress the woman, or you do not want her to be quote-unquote promiscuous, or when they do circumcision for men, they do it for hygiene purpose. And if you look at the Bible and the Quran, and when they talk about circumcision, it's hygiene. But and there's no part that talked about circumcision for the women. Now, our practices in Africa, the circumcision for the women is about stopping her from being promiscuous, so that she will not have an orgasm, so that she will not do this and that. If you also look at breast ironing in some parts of Africa, breast ironing, yes, breast ironing, it's called breast ironing, breast flattening. In Nigeria, it's the people that are closest to Cameroon, because Cameroon has the highest case.
That's my people.
That's closest to Cameroon side, because Cameroon has the highest case in Africa. Now, the ironing with hot metal, grinding stone.
Will it not burn them?
Yes, between the ages of 10 to 19, when puberty, when the girl is growing her breast, they iron it, or there's another one that they tie the breast overnight. So that and they say so that you will not be attractive to the men. So that you'll be able to go. Those are the things that they use it to...
I can kind of believe time, but ironing...
Yeah, the iron
with hot metal. That's bound to...
They heat up banana leaves, they put it on the breast and they tie it. They get grinding stone. They use spatulas, so many things to grind it in different parts of Africa. The one in Nigeria that they do it a lot is that area that is close to Cameroon. Because we share a border town with Cameroon, yes. But a lot of Nigerian cultures don't really do that.
No, but you see, the point you raise, which is important, and I think you should respond to that, is a function that is for the women. Because I know that in Delta, among the Urhobos, female genital mutilation, they say it's for purity and for cleansing, so you can have babies.
Everybody has an experience.
So that's what I'm saying. So, but the point is, that is the driving factor. They think they've done you a good. What we are saying here, they've done you a bad. In your area, they have what they call the fattening room. It's a tradition. You knew I was going to say that. And they teach you how to be a good wife. Until tomorrow, once you say you are from Cross River, everybody asks me, hey, she's a great cook. Oh, she can take care of a man.
But to be honest, that is somewhat positive, because I've never heard anybody saying they had ripped your boobs apart or done anything intense to you. It's good in the sense that they teach you how to, they teach you how to cook. They teach you about sex. They teach you about your body and what to do and what not to do. They teach you about childcare. So sometimes people have said that they've had experiences where it doesn't happen as much as, because I didn't go to fattening room.
Why not?
I didn't go to fattening room because it's no longer.
She's a Lagos girl.
So it's no longer that.
But this is what I say.
But it's nice.
Exactly. This is why I say there is good and there is bad. What she's just described is preparation for life that made a lot, I think people still have the impression that ladies from there would make better, attentive wives. Yes. So it was a preparation that, honestly, in my own mind, is something we need to keep going.
Yes.
Even if we don't have that long time to do it anymore, what is wrong with sending somebody for preparation for a week? So that they get information.
Are you saying boys? Do we do it to the men?
Look,
look at she's just looking. Do we do it to the men?
I'm actually just enjoying the conversation.
And you have nothing to contribute.
Can I ask a young lady?
Okay.
Would you like to have a preparation of the life you're about to step into? It's not going to mean you don't go to school. It's not going to mean it's a week. Just prepping. By the way, in the West, they have what they call the finishing schools.
Yeah.
Why? They're not about to go and make somebody a slave. They're just preparing them. Actually, I think it's good for somebody to be prepared for the life she's going to be exposed to. We'll come to the men thing, but
That is the
as a
question
young
here.
person, would you not think that preparing would be good?
I mean, I would love to do it just because I would. If it was a necessity, like, if they were going to force me to do it, I'd probably not be interested in doing it. Yes, because...
Just because of the force factor.
Yes,
Hey,
just because of the force factor, I'll probably not do it. But because I know it will be useful and valuable to my future and the decisions that I
what
make.
You're saying is, so even when I didn't do it officially when I was getting married, I still had some sorts of that. So when you're getting dressed, there's a tradition where you put the combs through the hair and all of that. They tell you at that point, they're talking to you. In fact, the lady that did mine was praying and doing all that
please
prep with me.
hold that thought, because we need to go on a short break at the moment. So we'll be back with more about traditions, the good, the bad, the ugly, when we come back. So welcome back. We're still in the lounge where we're talking about our traditions. And while we continue the conversation, and we've identified actually a practice that is, they have preparations also. I'll talk about that later, but I'd like to hear what Anne said she went through.
Okay, so when I was getting married, one of the things I was asked was, are you going to put the comb? You know how, have you ever seen I'm an Efik woman, proudly so. So we put in the combs in the hair, and then if you're a first daughter, yours is longer. If you're a second daughter, yours is shorter, and all of that. So when I was going to do that, someone asked me, and do you know that there are spiritual or traditional implications to putting the comb? I love my culture. Like when I hear Calabar music right now, you've gotten me. I totally enjoy it. But I said, my pictures will be incomplete if I don't have that comb. It will just be absurd. So I said, so I spoke to the lady that was going to do the comb for me. So I understand where they're coming from. So in those days, she explained to me that in those days, when they're putting in the comb, they can be doing incantations and all of that. Now it's tweaked a bit. The lady that was doing it for me was praying with me and telling me about the different things. Yes, so she was putting the comb. So you give her a drink. You give her a drink, you give her some money, there's some things that come in, and then as she's putting it, she was saying, may you go well in your home, she was praying with me, and then she also told me about sex. She talked about things, so she did the little...
Don't deprive your husband.
The fattening room thing.
Or what?
She had it
in a little containable
space.
process.
And she sat with me and she prayed. At the end of the day, I didn't feel defiled in any way, tradition. I didn't feel like they had said some prayers on my head.
I like the point the spiritual thing, because that's common these days. Anytime we talk about our tradition, people want to say or people want to presume that there's something spiritually dark and diabolical about it. And yes, there might have been aspects, and you can remove it the way you've just described.
You can turn it around.
Thank you. But I don't like us throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Tell me about the lale. You were talking about even in the north, there's this thing that they do, even what you...
In the north, yes. When they want to get married, the women, they're going to give,
Is it a religious thing?
Well,
Like, is it Islam?
Religion and culture, they've come together.
In the north?
In
Everywhere. Really?
Everywhere. Like, as a Muslim, Islam will tell you that when your culture and your religion, they clash, you have to go with the religion. Okay. But if your culture doesn't clash with the religion, you can go. Yes. You can go and do it, because Islam recognizes that.
But I find that
because there's
lale.
Lale is actually good, because it's in one of the traditions as a Muslim. Because lale is henna. Yes. It's good for your hair. It's good for all that.
So they're praying for you as you're doing it?
No, not that. It depends on the culture. Okay. But the thing is that they give them aphrodisiacs. All sorts of apparently, in some culture in the north, if your mother-in-law is part of the things that they give the wife, if she does not come with a whole bag of different type of aphrodisiac for you, she probably doesn't like you.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's going to give you aphrodisiac, all sorts of aphrodisiacs, and tell you how to use it. You're going to drink, you're going to use the one to bath, the one you mix with fish, the one you mix with chicken, the one you mix with...
so aphrodisiacs to prepare for her husband,
yogurt, of course.
Or for both, just for the husband?
Both of you, of course. Okay. It will help your own body get ready to get down, and it will also get your husband. Okay. Yeah, so that's good. On that note, I'm going to ask the young. Yes, she's too quiet.
We're talking about.
No, she's too quiet.
My ears are wide open.
For me, tradition is actually most important if we can pass them down.
Yeah.
Because the definition of tradition is what you pass down.
Yeah.
Even in the Bible, you heard people would call their children around and say, so I say these things to you and continue in them. Yeah. In the traditional village, they were oral, word of mouth, and all that. And so I would like to ask you, do you think that your generation is missing out on some of these traditions being passed on properly?
You know, like, do you believe that the tradition should worried?
Or does your generation believe that they need tradition? Do they like our tradition?
I think to a certain extent, till today, my daddy still does that thing where he holds like a drink or a cola nut, and then he, of course, he doesn't say like the incantations, but like he prays. And till this morning, like before he leaves, as early as he leaves, he holds like a glass and pours some on the floor, and he's speaking Igbo and saying, "No, we're giving you your own," you know. And it's very interesting. I always look at my brothers and I'm like, hope you'll be able to do these things, because I actually like the fact that, you know, he does all of those things. I don't.
Why do you like it? Because
I feel like it has a very interesting meaning. Like I think
to your roots.
I think
It's like,
it's very yes, and just like my daddy doesn't speak English to us. Like he doesn't speak English to us, even at the airport, anywhere. He would always speak.
English and they give it to
no,
you.
he speaks Igbo to us, and then we answer him in English. And then
He
the
just
day
lets
that
it
he's,
pass.
but the day that he's not in the mood, he gives it back to us immediately.
He
That
does speak.
yes, you know, and all. And then I think one of the other ways that we've learned from him, before I used to be like, why are you playing Osadebe and all this type of music? But now those are my jams. Like when I just hear some people, there are even new ones that I know of now, like Obiligo, I'm just like, yes, play it, let's get down, you know, and all of that. So
if tradition, good, can be passed down, we are sending our culture into the next generation.
Yeah. Otherwise, they
and if not, they are actually, you asked me at the beginning, what do I like about culture? Because culture is about you sending the essence of you and your roots into the next generation. Otherwise, what happens is that they actually don't get the other culture properly. It's like they are hung.
Yeah.
And they then don't understand their own roots and where they're coming from. That's my problem. If you see a Jewish young person till tomorrow, they do their mizpah and something. It's mizpah for the boys. And at 14, that's why the Jew remains a strong Jew, and has confidence. I like what your dad does, because that's spiritually taking over his house every morning.
No, but you see, among the Igbos, they also have coming of age for the young men, apart from the girls.
Yeah.
But, you know, they still do it in some parts.
Do you still do that?
Yeah.
No, coming of age, age group. There's age groups.
Because this December, my brothers, so they, now in my village, they have like titles for certain. Yes, so now we have to travel, whether I like it or not, because all my brothers are going to take a certain title.
So
They're going to be a certain title holder. So we all have
languages. Though, when you were talking about languages, I recently started speaking Efik to my son. So my husband is Kwale, Delta, and then I just felt to myself, sometimes I feel bad when I see people that do not understand their language. Because I see even people, even the French, no matter where they stay, if they live in America, they understand French. Even there's no even Yoruba people.
Do you understand,
oh my
do you
God.
understand enough Efik to teach that?
I speak Efik, but you want me to start here?
So because you see, that's one regret I have. That, you know, my husband is Ebo, which is Somondokwa, I'm Edo. So which language? So we spoke English.
No, you can't speak.
No, but the regret is I should have taught them what I knew.
Exactly.
I mean, even Yoruba or whatever.
But
having said that, though, I want to go back to the question that it's very good. I like what Fumi is saying. No, there are good things in tradition. We must ensure that we pass it to the children. Are we passing drinking water from cups to children?
No.
Are we cutting people's clitorises because we don't want them to have enjoyment, passing on? Is that tradition? Are we saying it is? No, so the point is, what are those things that must be a no-no? How do we sift?
I would ask Saja.
Anything that is harmful to our society, that is harmful to our body, okay, take example when someone dies and you tell the wife to shave their head. What exactly are you saying? If I shave your head, what's it going to do? Do you understand?
It's a sign that you are
It's a sign that what? I can
So
mourn
if I
without shaving my head. So you have to find out why is that tradition there and what does it do? I mean, you shave a woman's head if she does not want to do that for fashion. You remove her crown. That's what you do. You tell her to drink water that you used to bath a dead body. She can die from that, from infection. You cut her clitoris because of what you're trying to do was stop her from being promiscuous. The child can die from that, from bleeding. You know, so we have to look at what tradition. Tradition is good. Tradition identifies us. Because look at the Oyinbo people that maybe because of slave trade, they've moved around the world and they don't know their roots. They're lost. If you do not know your roots and you cannot identify with a people, you are lost. So tradition is good. We just look at what is bad and harmful to us as a gender, to our society, and we change it.
I think as civilization comes and education comes, it behoves any people to see what traditions to leave behind. Even in the West, there are traditions that they've left behind. I mean, even in the West, they lynched people. So there are traditions that as civilization comes, we can leave behind.
I'm talking about our dress, how it is tradition, and how all over the world now, they look at us and they go like, that is beautiful, that is colorful. Look at the headgear. That is a good thing. Why would I want to stop that?
To finish with that, and you can show it. And anyway, in the earlier times, these were not made exactly how you and I are wearing it now.
You can modernize it. Look at this Ashoki.
Modernized.
Come on, look at this. This is Ashoki,
And
guys.
so, but it shows a pride of... It shows the pride of the roots when we are able to come out like this. Like she said, anywhere in the West, I would usually, even when my son was finishing at public school.
Which one, the first one or the second one?
The second one.
Your baby.
Yes. When he was finished, when he graduated in Oxford, I can show you the photograph. He told me to not do gele, but I must wear something traditional, that I needed to look different.
I must see that
So,
picture.
yes, what did I do? I tied, the Igbo double wrapper.
2 wrapper.
Only one. Then did my lace blouse and then put pearls. And as I walked into the hall, the man at the gate...
queen from where? What
Exactly. The man at the gate said, and who is fairest of them all? So, I mean, so you can bring your culture into things in a respectable and, nice way, such that they can respect it, and you put it in the stage of the world in a good way.
I want to revisit that widowhood thing. I mean, I have a friend. In fact, my producer's friend lost her husband recently. And there was confusion because this one will say, this is what the tradition says, that's what the tradition says. I think in such circumstances, like you're saying, we should not throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Can you hold that thought? Because we need to stop and we will be back.
Are you wondering why we're still wearing the same clothes? That's because we never left you. We're back in the lounge to continue this discussion on traditions. Should we stop some? But I like some, though. Anyway, we'll be having this discussion after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, we're in the lounge, like Anne said, but we're still in the lounge with Saudat, Chisom, Fumi, and me, of course, Adesuwa Onyenokwe. Where am I? But you know what? The beauty about the conversation we are having is that it doesn't ever end. They can continue online, and we don't have all the answers. But I think quite clearly from the beginning of this conversation, we all agreed that traditions... No, Anne has been...
She doesn't want me to show this my skirt, but I'm going to show it
Anne, you have introduced yourself now.
Yeah, but I'm still going to flaunt my skirt. My name is Anne.
Hey, are you a fly?
Yeah.
You know, because aunts into, it's okay, I'm sorry, my dear. Before they say I use old woman sense. Remove your shine. No, but sincerely, I mean, I think we just finished that conversation without realizing we had done half an hour. And so we came back here. And would I be right if I said we all agree that traditions have their place?
Yes, of course.
But there are some that are not too good. But I like the tradition of lolly and aphrodisiacs and getting them ready.
No, I'm so for that.
Oh, you're so for that.
Everybody's for that except Auntie.
No, but honestly, the question I ask, which is why I think we should focus, I think we should focus on that. There seems to be so much preparation, right? When it comes to traditions, the focus is more on the female. I know women are important. After all, that's why today's woman exists, because I know women are important. But then if you're putting so much pressure on women to be a particular way, and then everything you do is to try to make her be good for the man, isn't that somewhat negative?
I mean, you all have been coming with that thought, and I've been suppressing saying why it is. But you know why it is.
Why?
We have evolved from a very chauvinistic society. Most societies, and not just us, everywhere in the world, the men had the power. The men laid down the rules, and who would not lay down rules to benefit themselves? So that is the root of it. Why do you think there was feminism and all those things evolving, coming out of traditions generally? That's because the root of most traditions, because they were handed down a long time, were rooted in chauvinistic societies. And it is that we hopefully are, through feminism, through education, through civilization, through women being themselves aware and not allowing themselves empowered, are trying to get rid of. So there's no point asking a question about what we know why. That's why.
I also want to say that sometimes it's how you interpret. A number of these things are not because they want to suppress the women, really. It's because they want, because quote unquote, the woman is the weaker sex. So some of these things are to protect. Some. It's how you interpret. Some are to protect. Or rather, maybe the intention was to protect. But you are protecting what wants to be protected. I want to fly. Let's take an example when you look at culture of religion. As a Muslim, they will tell you that, well, the culture is, oh, the woman is supposed not to do, some Muslim countries, the woman shouldn't drive, the woman shouldn't do this, the woman should do that. It's not like they said you should not drive. The woman should not do things that are strenuous. So those countries will tell you don't drive because they want a man to drive. As a Muslim, in the culture, I'm not supposed to cook my husband. He's supposed to make sure I eat. Yes. And I'm not bound to cook for him. But I have to eat.
When they don't allow people drive cars, it's to curtail movement. So you can give them the excuses, but it is to curtail movement.
The interpretation,
Then, if we all want to interpret that we are being protected, those societies should remain in those rules.
No, what I'm saying is how people interpret it, how they interpret a rule. Take, for example, I mean, I learned here, talking to you on the show, that Islam says you marry 4 wives only if you can love them equally.
Well, it says
yes, equally.
If you can afford it,
you can take care of them
equally.
So, but then you are now saying that Islam allows you to marry 4. Is that true?
Adeswa, how many people are able to sensually love 4 women equally?
They can.
That's what I'm saying. That means it doesn't say you should marry 4 wives.
Interpretation of it. And also the rule is one thing.
Are you saying, you said they can?
The rule is
they
one
can't.
thing.
Says they can't.
The rule is one thing.
Application.
And the application is another thing. Now, sorry, excuse me. Let me just through that driving thing. Look at here. If you're a driver in Nigeria, you're a big girl. If you have a driver, you're a big girl now. But because it is your choice to have a driver. Now look at another community that is telling telling a man that you must provide a driver for your wife. She must not drive because it is strenuous. Now the woman, she's enlightened now. She feels as if, wow, they're holding me down. I can't go out by myself. So to her, it's punishment because somebody is driving her. She can't drive by herself.
No,
it can. That's what I'm saying. It can be.
Punishment is not because somebody is driving her, like you said. It's a big girl that's driven. It is not the fact that she's being driven that is punishment. What is punishment is that
people should have a
she
choice.
is not allowed
choice.
to drive. So she doesn't have any control over her life.
But it is those that are interpreting that law that are saying don't drive. What we're trying to say is that protect your wife, don't let her do things that are strenuous.
So
Look at this.
I have a question. So my question is, so in Islam, you're not allowed to marry 4 wives unless you can take care of them, right? Who does joining?
Who does the joining?
Husband and wife.
The imam.
So at the point where the man came with more wives, was he asked that is he capable?
Which is
They'll ask you the question now. You say you are.
Which is what comes to application.
Application.
The imams are men.
They are there now.
So the point is, that's what comes to application.
We have to be careful in going down that path. Because if you go down that path, then you're telling us to check it by each application. We need to decide whether a tradition is negative or positive, is right or wrong, rather than be trying to see whether an interpretation makes it okay.
Let's go to Christianity, where, for example, in more Orthodox churches, a woman can't be a pastor or a priest.
Yes.
Because Apostle Paul said at one point in time,
but everybody's
let them
fighting
sin not be heard.
But now everybody's fighting it. Yes. And there are now bishops and things, female pastors everywhere.
It was a culture. That's why it was existing, right? So even if it's in the interest of the woman, when the times change, shouldn't people change even if it's in the interest of the woman?
Yeah. I mean,
so,
like, I have something to say. So my dad, I always would have to refer to him in this tradition. So he bought lands, properties in the village for us, inclusive of me. Of course, I'm the first. So, in fact, I even have the largest and the only. So I have like the largest portions of land. But then I know, but I know some people are asking why, because one day I'm going to get married and leave, and what's going to happen? Does it make sense to have this much property? What am I going to use it to do? And I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because I could come back to use it to do something.
What did your father say?
One day he just brought all of us and he was like, oh, this is yours. This is your brother's own. And he was just like, do whatever it is you want to do.
Money episode.
No, I wasn't.
Because I was going to say, I'm sure you got the reply, what you should reply them when they say, what are you going to do with all that money? You would have been able to reply them that it's for your self-confidence, it's for the power you need, and it's for spending.
So isn't that a function of how the father has chosen to apply something that exists? He's chosen not to listen because
you hear that in the Igbo culture, women are not allowed to inherit. But he's not looking at that now.
Yeah. He's taking care of.
And then I like what he's doing because, why wait until you die and leave chaos?
Yeah.
So why don't you do it now that you're like, I see very educated and enlightened people when they die. You should preempt the sort of thing that's going to happen because you're not unaware of the fact that this is what happens. So if you want to if you have 3 daughters and a son, and you know that when you will die someday. Do you understand? So why don't you gift it to them while you're alive and know that that's done? Because traditionally, that thing will never get to them.
That's another tradition that's not good.
Yeah, but that's
women don't inherit.
We need to go to the root of those
in
traditions.
In my culture, women inherit.
Change it rather than hope that people apply them well. That's how I think.
Culture and religion,
those traditions
in Africa.
They're so intertwined.
They are so intertwined. Yes. When we talk about, sorry, I have to take you back to this 4 wives thing. What is happening here, especially in Africa here, is not about being a Muslim, marrying 4 wives. It's about being an African. The only difference is that the Muslims have excuse to marry 4 wives. There's so many Christians and non-Muslims that have married 4 wives. The only one that will open his mouth and tell you why he married is because my religion allows it. Keep quiet. We're not the only Muslims in the world. There are Muslims in the US, in the UK, all over the world. So why is it Nigeria here or Africa here that you now marry? You see, that is the thing.
I think Saudat is fighting that battle. So the Muslim men stop using it as an excuse.
Yes. If you want to marry, if by choice. Well, I can answer that question. He has to. Yeah.
I was going to say, and it shall remain so.
Amen. If you want to marry 4 wives, say I want to marry 4 wives. Don't come and say because I'm a Muslim. Because many men have done that. Yes, stop using Islam as your excuse. Don't do that. Yeah. Do marry and be, like my people say, do it with your chest. Just and say yes, I want to. Own it. Yes. And you see, there's nothing. I'm not going to say that it is wrong to marry more than 1 wife because some women actually marry women for their husbands.
Yes.
So if you want to do it, it is okay if you want to do it, especially if because even some children that are born in polygamous homes, they like it. They say that it is a good community for them. So the culture and the tradition that we have, if more a large percentage of it for me is very good. I love being a Nigerian. When I am out of this country, I am intimidated. I know that a lot, especially when people know that I am Nigerian.
Oh my goodness.
I like the effect, especially in Africa.
What's the culture you take away that's so obvious?
Nigeria itself, the identity of being a Nigerian, the fact that we are confident.
Very confident.
When you go outside this country and you see a black person that is confident, raising their voice and excited, 9 out of 10 times, that is a Nigerian.
Can I even say an
Do you understand?
accent? So why do we even try to form other people's accent? A lot of people outside Nigeria really love our accents. Every time I go to Starbucks, there's always this guy asking, he's always adding more whipped cream because of my accent. He would just say to me, should I add more? Just so I say yes. You're like, ooh, I love it. And and then I come back here and everybody's trying to form British. In fact, I don't even know which it is,
But don't worry, when we go outside this country...
Can I ask the young people?
Plus me.
Yeah, you are included. Can I ask the young people, what do you think we need to do? Because let's get to the crux of this. Do we need to work to discontinue bad traditions, or should we be preaching application in a better way?
Start from here.
Yes, this has taken me to a discussion I had with somebody recently about adoption. So she said her dad had 2 girls and then wanted to have a boy, and then the mother was old. Her mother right now is maybe like in her late 60s, 70s, and then they wanted a boy, and then they started to apply to different places. But then they said that in their family, so I don't know if it's an Igbo tradition, but in their family, adopted kids are not recognized. So it was something that they had to fight for a while because the man knew that he doesn't want all the property that he had to go to waste because they won't give the daughters, he doesn't have sons. So now he went and eventually they had signed up with an adoption home. Eventually they found twin boys. They wanted twin boys because just in case one dies or just in case one is lonely. I'm telling you, so this is the reason. So they had 2 boys and they adopted the 2 boys and then the family now accepted. So now when he died, these boys were 4 years old. They say, master this, master that, is survived by sons, master this and master that. Now those children have even relocated to the US. And I'm thinking to myself, the property that he was fighting for and the reason why he has left his children to this woman that cannot, she's 70. She's incapable of fighting these battles with these children right now. At the end of the day, is there a better way that we could have applied it in the sense that this adoption, if it's more accepted, would more families have less problems?
So you're saying
are we going on to tradition?
Try to work at changing the wrong or not so good traditions.
So in this sense, maybe we can apply. So people have been burnt by adopting children that have been a menace. That's understandable. So maybe in this one we can say, let's tweak it a bit. If families are open to it and you see that these are people that are distressed and they need this, then why not if not?
Okay, I think what you're saying, we're going to another topic here now. You're saying, traditions can be changed?
Or should they just be applied?
So can be tweaked. Like in this one, you can be tweaked, not necessarily.
In application. Thank you very much. And that was a very good way of saying it, and that we can tweak some of our traditions for modernity. So we shall go on a short break now, and we'll soon be back with more on tradition.
So, if you've missed any part of this conversation, you've missed a whole lot. I've been learning so much about traditions myself. My aunties and sisters in the lounge have been sharing so much about these traditions. And, Auntie Fumi says that we should keep a lot of these things. Should we?
I'm not saying keep the bad.
Okay.
But there is a lot in the good.
I think Chisom had this perspective. You're the youngest person.
I did ask Chisom to tell us what she thinks we should do to traditions that we don't consider very good? Is it to tweak them or to try to get rid of them?
I think we should get rid of them. What is bad is bad. What is harmful is harmful. And, you know, bred new traditions, bred new things. I mean, something started someday. So there's nothing that we cannot start a new, you know. So anything harmful should forever go, be discarded. Like drinking the water from your husband's funeral, you know, shaving your hair. I mean, if you want to, out of respect, I know a lot of people, when my last brother died, my mom shaved her hair just because she wanted to.
I like you bringing that in, because the shaving, a lot of people talk about the shaving a lot, but I think sometimes the shaving is just to honor the person that has...
take off all vanity.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to think about myself. I want to mourn.
Yeah, and she just did it for her son, and people were asking her why, and she was like, it's my son.
Exactly.
And that was just it, you know, and everyone...
honoring.
Yes, even in the Igbo culture, daughters are also expected to shave their hair if their mom actually passed. And then I've had this conversation a lot of time, and I'm like, I don't know, but you know, if that time comes and I want to, I will.
Well, you know, the point you raise is quite key. If it's not harmful and it's not hurting anybody. Like what I told my sister-in-law, that look, listen, doesn't remove anything from your skin. So long as I don't make you drink something, just let it be for peace sake. But where we get a problem is where there's no choice. So you must. And you say you must because, I mean, if you lose somebody, even if I shave my head, because you made me say I should shave my head, it doesn't mean I'm going to really mourn that person. Because, I mean, I have a friend, when her husband died, they were separated, they were quarreling, and they made her shave her head. Say when she was sitting down there, she was just cursing the man's dead body. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't. She was cursing the man's dead body, but she did it so there won't be any trouble. But she was cursing the man. So let it be. Do what has to be done.
Let's go on a lighter note. Let's talk about the traditional. What would I call it? The masquerades and the fun things we do as you know.
Okay, I think that takes us to the point of what is the good and what is the bad. You were going to ask us.
Yes, of what we do and what is enjoyable. What is enjoyable? That's the word, because she had given us an example for Osadebe. and in fact, when she was saying it, I was thinking.
No, let's hum one of the songs.
Okay.
No, what's it now?
We can sing Ekwe.
Ekwe. No, that's not Osadebe. That is Onyeka.
No, I was wondering. Yes.
No, but it's home
so, yes, something like the Lagos States and the Egunguns, and tell us a bit about that.
Halloween is tradition for other cultures.
Yes.
Well, it had its roots in witchcraft, though. But we have our own other traditions here, like the different masquerade. Although we have the what's this masquerade? This masquerade now that they do a lot in Ikorodu and Ekwe. Oro.
Those are not.
They are traditions. They are not. They are horrible ones. Their women are not supposed to come out.
Yes.
But then you have your festival that they flog women as well. You see, almost all of them are. Why?
It's all against women.
Oh, kind of, but they are fun looking at and stuff like
One
that.
tradition that I love, I'm not Yoruba, but I always like when they dobale at the wedding. Like, I'm just like,
especially when the guy is coming to bed.
Yes, like that.
Not only beg. When my children came for my husband's 60th, and people didn't know they flew in, and my father-in-law was in the function at the function event place, and he didn't know that my boys came from abroad. And a lot of people in the room didn't realize they came. So they came, they went changed. So they came into the function hall and they just went straight to their grandfather and just prostrated. And our very close friend, Ibo, who has known the children for forever, you know, since we were married, he's been our friend, so he knows the children. So he asked me, he says, how did you get these foreigners to be doing this? I said, I don't know how they don't do it for us, but they're not going to be in the room with the grandparents and not do it. You know, so there are those kind of things that, and you're not forcing them. it's something they've realized that it's a sign of respect in their culture. And it's not harmful in any way. And they just did it. I can imagine how wonderful my father-in-law felt.
And
so,
well, you know what? I'm a Yoruba woman, and I don't
I
don't like the fact that, well, maybe I have to accept that it's not all cultures that they are women kneel down. But you have to curtsy. I just feel it is so rude. Maybe because I'm Yoruba, you see someone older than you. If you have to curtsy. You can't just stand and say, hey, Auntie Adesoa, you just have to bend a bit, do something, just to show like.
This is how you shake.
Do you understand? Just
when you shake an elder, you do this. You hold your hand. It's like you're bowing.
Yeah.
But you're not like bending.
Yes.
I went
something.
to an Indian
people think it's
party
disrespectful to
recently,
shake.
about 2 weekends ago. I couldn't. He's my neighbor. He's my neighbor, and I've known him for those years. And it was his birthday, and I'd never met the father. The father came. And then the father came to make a very short speech. And then he got up from his seat, exactly almost like, by the way they do this, he touches his father's shoes.
Yes,
He touched,
Did he touch his head with it?
No, with his hand, he touched his father's shoes. And then all the young people there also came out and touched the man's shoes. And I thought, we're not the only ones that dobale.
So what you see, the thing is, whatever it is we're doing, it can also become eye service. If it's for real, it's good.
Yes.
What Chisom said are key into that. When something is good, keep it going. When something is bad, tweak it as time goes on.
Tweak it, or she said get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Or you can even...
She says
tweak it. So you see, this Egungun thing and all this Ero, Eyo, Oro, or Maung, you call it Maung, Ekpe. They are great. They are great things. They are great things that people can watch. So instead of saying they should be beating women, let them be beating sticks or trees.
In fact, they can tweak it. That's
that is where tweaking
it
works.
becomes
in
a
Calabar,
tourist attraction.
Exactly. Every Christmas in Calabar, they have the carnival where they have the masquerade parts where they come out and display. Then they also have a show that's usually on the 30th or 31st where all the Ekpe and the masquerades come and people pay to watch. So it's also making money for them. They come and they do all the displays and everything's very beautiful and nobody's beaten or anything.
But we're not allowed to come out.
Like
the
women
females
are
are not,
not
and they come to like our compound
So
and
the
have
question
a
is,
good
all
time,
these
but they
female
don't allow
things,
us.
leave women alone, Joe.
Exactly. Let us come and
Leave
enjoy
women
the
alone.
thing.
They should stop because
Be
all this is
hiding.
power thing, everything.
So now that we've enjoyed ourselves with the good, can we just highlight what we would go around and we'll end with Adesoa. So let's start with you. Let's start with you and go this way.
What do you want to say, the bad or
good?
the good? Oh, my good?
I like the bad. We've been enjoying ourselves with the
I
good.
need to mention this good that I want to keep.
Quickly.
You see that Calabar something? Yes. No, not Ekpe. Preparing preparing the woman for marriage. We need to keep it. Okay. I like them to keep it.
What do you want us to get
What do you
rid
want to get rid of? FGM, breast flattening, and all that. They need to get rid of it.
Anything? Can you remember anything?
Yes, just down to like the masquerades and all the superpower about not letting women be there. They should scrap it. I want to watch them and dance with them and give them high five and chop, for being such beautiful gangster.
For me, it is any tradition that is precluding women from rights of enjoyment and rights of participation. I'd like them to be rid of.
Okay, I like that. Anything that women are not going to be part of. But I also want to say that anything that is harmful, anything that will cause pain, anything that would be dangerous at the end of the day, if anybody participates in that sort of tradition, should be put away. But then if it's not harmful, it's not going to cost anything, then why not if not?
You said FGM, not everybody knows.
Female genital mutilation, what some people call circumcision for women. Yes.
Just for our listeners,
I guess.
What. So,
like they said, whatever hurts, if it hurts somebody else, then don't do it. And, whatever the reason is, we didn't even give the example of these people in China or Japan that they tie people's feet so they don't grow.
You can, although it's not our culture, but
but it's true. The thing is, the point I'm making here is, anywhere in the world, there will always be something that you do, which is a power thing because you want to bring the other person down. Yeah. What we're saying here is, whatever the culture is, if it is negative, most times around here, it's negative to the female, we're saying. So we should begin to look at it again and say, hey, is it really right? And also, the women themselves should also begin to look at it and say, look, maybe we should do it differently. Because at the end of the day, these widowhood practices are inculcated by women.
Yes, women are.
You know, this circumcision is inculcated by women.
Yeah.
The fattening room by women. Everything that we do is women that make it happen. We are custodians.
Yes,
so we can begin to say, yes, we want to raise our girls to be good wives, but we also need to raise our boys to be good husbands.
Yes.
Yes, we want to be able to curtail our girls from being, we should also our boys from being. You know, let's do it both ways. You know, this culture, you know, so let's just remember that we are all human beings, equal dignity and equal rights. I think for me, that's what matters. But if it's good, keep it. If it's bad, throw it out, like Chisom said. Should we? Yes. Are we gone? We're good. So at this point in time, we will say bye. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. We can even talk about this continuously. The message is on screen where you can go join TW Conversations, whatever it is. Chisom knows. What is it?
At TW Conversations on Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
So please go follow us.
Yes.
Follow us.
We'll follow you back.
Being online has become a part of our every waking moment. From the moment we wake up in the morning till we hit the pillow at night, we are browsing, scrolling through social media, responding to messages. We live our lives online almost as much as we live it in reality. These anonymous interactions, like any other human interaction, comes with complexity and challenges. People get into civil discussions, debates, banter, and share with one another. With these interactions come disagreements, arguments, conflicts that can soon degenerate into trolling, bullying, and general unpleasantness. The discretion we employ in face-to-face interaction is further decreased online. In fact, according to psychologist Robert Sutton, disrespectful, demeaning, and downright mean-spirited behavior is worse than ever. This behavior is especially true of online discourse, which researchers describe as the online disinhibition effect. Stanford psychology professor John Sula in 2004 said, "The online disinhibition effect can cause people to act out in either a benign manner, wherein they overshare their personal information, or in a toxic manner wherein they become abusive or threatening." "I am in my house, come and beat me" is a common saying online that alludes to the inaccessibility that emboldens even regular people to behave in less than civil ways online. Another factor responsible for this behavior, apart from anonymity and availability, is solipsistic introduction, a situation, according to Dr. Sula, where you don't have any physical cues associated with the person you're communicating with, and other person becomes just a voice in your head. As such, the people in your online conversations merely become characters in your imagination, formed by your own personal history and expectations. You might also hear his or her voice as your own,